Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Kaladesh Draft League. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/Inez27. Alright, so we have Bomat Bazaar Barge, which is, I think, pretty good. The Crew 3 can be kind of tough, though. There's Servo Exhibition, which is a good card. There's the Cogworkers Puzzle Knot, which is a similar card. A little more expensive, so I guess give a slight edge to the exhibition, since they both kind of require white. We also have Die Young, Shrewd Negotiation, Thriving Rhino. All of these cards are pretty good. I don't know what I like to start off with. Probably something colorless, but yeah, I mean, I can take the Bomat Bazaar Barge. It's a fine card. At least it draws you a card, and it's potentially a good beater. We'll start off with it. None of the other cards are super inspiring me to want to jump into that. Well, this is kind of a weak pack. I mean, we have Salivating Gremlins, Minister, Wild Wanderer. All these cards are pretty unexciting. I can follow up with the Infiltrator. It pairs well with the Barge. And it's a good beater. It's a good price. Gremlins is pretty good too, but has a little bit more of a build-around clause on it. And I like Infiltrator more than Herald of the Fair most of the time. All right, I guess we'll take the Infiltrator. I'm not really interested in trying to make Minister work, and everything else is pretty mediocre. Kind of a pretty unexciting second pick, but okay. Wow. All right. So, best cards, we have the Augmenter, the Revoke Privileges, and I guess Serpent. I did get beaten down by Lookout. Maybe this card's better than I gave it credit for. So yeah, it's Augmenter versus Revoke Privileges, I think. And Revoke Privileges is pretty good removal. Augmenter is pretty awesome, though, too. Both very good cards. I probably am just going to take the Revoke Privileges, the safe removal pick. But, you know, there probably is a good argument between these two. I think Augmenter can just be really over the top in some matches, but you know, you want to make sure you have at least some hard removal like Revoke Privileges, so I think we're going to take it. Okay, so now we have this Aether Torch Renegade, which I like a lot, by the way. We have the Aviator, a Pioneer, a Die Young. I probably just want the Renegade. I really do like this card a lot. Just giving you 4 energy off the bat's nice, but being able to ping and kill things is really nice. So I think I'm going to take that. I love killing X1s. I'm going to take it over the Pioneer, which I think would be a good pick too. But we'll take the Renegade. We'll be happy about it. Okay, so now we have Iron League Steed, Artisan. There may actually be an argument for taking the Steed over the Artisan. We only have 1 white card right now, so we still could end up in a different color combination. I mean, we're not even necessarily red either. Steed is another mana, though. But I've been kind of impressed with the Steed. The hastiness comes into effect more often than I expected it to. I think I'm going to take the Steed over the Artisan this time. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but like I said, I've been pretty impressed with the Steed. Okay, so we have Gorger, but I probably just want the Pyro Helix, get some more removal. There's a Puzzle Knot in here as well, and a Wayward Giant, late Serpent. But Pyro Helix is good. definitely. Okay. So we have Artisan here. We have Ninth Bridge Patrol. It feels like Artisan's probably the best card in here for us. It's just a fine card in general. It's more of a card for buying you time to get to the late game, because it certainly doesn't beat down on its own. But if you have a good late game plan, I think Artisan is good. Whereas Ninth Bridge Patrol is kind of whatever. Core Prowler, replaceable. So I guess we'll take the Artisan. Huh. So there's a late Screecher. We have Self-Assembler, and we have a Puzzle Knot. These are all of our choices. I'm fine taking the Assembler here. I like the card advantage that Assembler gives. And it's not too big of a price tag, and it's colorless. So we can kind of stay down this path of not knowing exactly where we want to be outside of red. And, I mean, at this point, I'm still not 100% red, but I have 3 pretty good red cards. We'll take the Assembler here. Okay. So here's our first pack. We can take the Puzzle Knot now, or we can take like an Inspired Charge or some of these black cards like the Puzzle Knot, but I'm going to take the Cogworkers Puzzle Knot. I think this card's actually pretty good. All right, Herald of the Fair is certainly a playable 3-drop. Wheeling it, not necessarily a sign for white, but these are certainly playable white cards. All right, we'll take the Fire Forgers Puzzle Knot now. I at least like having that out of sideboard. You know, seeing a Wayward Giant, 4th to last pick, is kind of nice. It's not that this is a super high priority pick, but I really actually like this card. All right, I guess we'll take the Core Prowler just in case we open some. Second to last pick, Wayward Giant's a good sign for red. In case we open some bomb, green card. If I have some weird incentive to go into green, I'll have a couple good green picks here. Okay, so, well, I mean, Nature's Way, but we probably are just going to take Freighter as per usual because this card is just so strong. Other than that, there's the Self-Assembler, the second one, which I wouldn't mind getting. But I don't know. I mean, I assume it's possible to wheel Self-Assemblers. I don't know if this pack is deep enough for that to happen, though. But Freighter, always a good card to have in your deck. Format might even be better if Freighter wasn't in it, because it's such a high priority pick because it's colorless. Just a colorless, cheap way to kill people. So it's just too desirable of a card to be in a format. Huh. So we have Decoction Module, which I guess has synergy with like Renegade. We have Eager Construct, which is just a cheap thing. Impeccable Timing, which I might just want. We're a little bit removal light still. There's Spontaneous Artist, which is fairly good and aggressive. I'd probably just take the timing and be happy with it. I've been overall impressed with it. This isn't the exact card a deck like ours is looking for. Like I stated in the Blue-White Flyers deck, I think that's where Impeccable Timing shines the most, is in Blue-White Flyers, where you're evading their creatures and they're attacking into you and you kill them. But Impeccable Timing still deals with nasty little threats, so I think we're just going to take it here. So Ballista Charger's not bad. We have Sky Skiffs, the Harrier as well. I'm willing to set the green aside for now. I probably can just commit to red-white. So I like the Sky Skiff a lot. I'm fine taking it here. Over the Charger even. Yeah, we've already got 3 5-drops, and I'm still hunting for another Self-Assembler. So why don't we just go for the low curve plays, the low curve cards rather. And I like the Skiff more than the Grubs because flying is good. So we'll take the Skiff. Really like the Skiff a lot. Another Screecher. So I can take the Construct here over the Herald and just get another cheap thing. Take the 2-drop over the 3-drop. I'm probably okay with that. Yeah, I think I am. Currently, it can crew everything but our Bizarre Barge. All right, Thriving Grub. Actually, this at this point seems like a Speedway Fanatic deck. We've got 3 vehicles already. So I probably just take the Speedway Fanatic and be okay with that. If you can ever get the Fanatic into Freighter, you're doing it. So taking it over Grubs. Disintegration on the Splash. I suppose it's possible. What kind of gasoline do we have for this Gremlins? We have one. Cogworker's Puzzle Knot's really good with Gremlins. If you get the full effect, what is that? 8 power? Wow. That's huge. Maybe I just take Gremlins. We actually look like we have quite a few artifacts now, cheap ones too. Granted, we may not end up playing them. We already have 8. Yeah, we'll take the Gremlins here. We'll take Brawler, so good, but we're not making that happen. So another Puzzle Knot, but I think we'll take the Grub. We'll take the Grub now. It's a nice aggressive card. We've got a plan now. We're going to be red-white aggro, so getting as many 2-drops as possible seems correct. All right, Doorbuster is just a good card. 4 power, gets rid of a blocker for a turn or 2, so I like it. So we can take Herald or Torch Gauntlet. Probably just another Herald is fine. I don't hate Torch Gauntlet, though. It feels like you rather just play threats rather than equipment in aggressive decks, but that's not always true. I mean, I'd prefer the Goggles because they're just auto-equipped to Artificers. But we'll take a second Herald. I mean, all of these creatures are certainly well-costed. What? It's a late... These are late, powerful cards. I'm going to take the Underhanded Design over the Spectacle. I mean, the chances of me splashing for it are so slim, but... Tactics. Okay, so we have a pack to I guess... It'd be nice to find a couple red-white cards. Like, multicolor, I mean. But if we can't, we can't. So, yeah, we don't need much to make this deck a little bit better. We've got some pretty good removal, right? We got the Privileges, the Pyrohelix, the Timing. Like I said, this is not the premium timing deck, but it's still good. People love Panharmonicon. People just love, love, love this card. So what do we have that it works well with? Gives us an additional servo. Gets an additional damage. We get to scry twice. We get 4 energy. Intimate causes the triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger the... So this would trigger twice off of artifacts. That's pretty good. It's only entering the battlefield, though. So this would give us 8 energy. I mean, we have things that work with it. I still just don't like this card. People just love it, though. People just absolutely love Panharmonicon. But I really don't. I kind of just want to take a second Gremlins. Could take a Artisan, too. Probably more likely to wheel the Gremlins. I'm going to take the Artisan. So we have Dragster, which is actually a good aggressive card, but I want this Privileges. We need some more hard removal, and Privileges is definitely that for what we're trying to do. So we're going to take it here over the Dragster. We already have 3 vehicles, so it's not a big deal. So we can take the Grubs here. There's an impeccable timing. We already have 14 creatures. Maybe I'm okay taking the second timing. Grubs is pretty aggressive, though. 2-drop that attacks for 3 on turn 3. I mean, you kind of want to do that. But we've already got our creature count where it's at, so I'd probably just take another removal. I mean, yeah, I think we do. Like, I can easily play it over a Fire Fortress puzzle knot. All right. Who knows? Maybe we can get the grubs back. Okay, so there's a Fateful Showdown. Some people love this card. I might just prefer the Infiltrator with triple vehicle. There's also Goggles and Gremlins. I could see myself running Infiltrator over Gremlins too, just because I don't need Gremlins. Gremlins seem to be like the only card really persuading me to want to be heavy artifact. So I would prefer it if I didn't even have to worry about how many artifacts I had. So I think I'm going to take the Infiltrator here. Yeah, like I said, a triple vehicle, I kind of like that. All right, we get a grub now, which is nice. I think I'm just going to take it over the Mechanic. Mechanic's not bad, though, either. We do have some Into the Battlefield stuff, some decent stuff there, but I think I might actually just like grub for this deck more. It makes more sense to want to push through damage than bounce stuff. So we'll take a second grub. I guess it has random synergy with our Renegade as well. All right, I mean, we're getting all the cheap goodies. Like, another Artisan is going to be good. And it looks like we're kind of off the self-assembler plan at this point, which I don't have a problem with. Start your engines. Well, I think I'm off that forever. I guess we'll take a Torch Gauntlet here, but I just don't think it's happening. So here's our second self-assembler. I still might just want to make this work. 4 or 5 drops in this deck seems fine to me. And the value that you get off a self-assembler is really, really not bad. That might have been our last actual opportunity to get one too, so that's nice. Yeah, I think we're just going to kind of ditch this whole Gremlins plan, which means we can start ditching some of these other artifacts. Like, we just don't need a lot of these cards now. Certainly don't need any of these cards. I can't see myself ever playing Surveillance, but I'm not going to play any of those. Another Tactics, but not likely to happen. All right, looks like we're... All right, I guess I'll take a Hijack. All right. Sure. Second to last pick. That card's actually pretty playable. All right, well, got a nice low curve. We kind of know what we want to do. We have some pretty premium removal overall, right? Double privileges, double impeccable timing, and a Pyro Helix. So we can deal with most things. We've got an aggressive curve. I think we're off this. I think we're off these two. Definitely not playing that. The Gremlins are gone, I think. I'm actually okay playing all 4 of these 5 drops. You know, honestly, Bizarre Barge, not exactly what I want to do in this deck. Like, it does draw a card, and it's a 5/5, but I feel like Freighter and Skiff are just going to be better. But, you know, maybe I want to give this a chance. I'm just wondering if I have to. Like, the Fanatic can't even crude on its own, but if I have the gasoline to do it, Bizarre Barge could technically be a 4-mana draw card 5/5 haste in the right circumstances, which is certainly powerful. You know, do I need double Herald, double Infiltrator? Probably not, but I kind of like what Herald does for our 2 drops. So if I cut these, what am I left with for cuts? I got to make 2 more cuts. Or I could, I mean, I could run 16 lands. I could run 16 lands. We top out at 5 with 4 of them. And technically I could, if I wanted to run 16 lands, I could just cut one of our 5 drops. And then I'm left with a fairly low-cost deck, honestly. Like, I could just cut a giant and be fine. We still have more than enough ways to get in early. We have some removal to push through a little bit. And we still have some finishers at the top. Like, I might be okay with this. The vast majority of our deck is 2 and 3 drops. And like I said, 3 5 drops is really not that bad for 16 lands. You can still certainly get there. I mean, we have six of our 40 cards are going to require 4 or 5 mana. It really is not that much. My other option is probably cut like a Herald of the Fair and run 17, which I don't love. I mean, I could also maybe cut both Heralds and bring back the Giant if I wanted to run 17 lands, so I at least have a little bit more top end. But I kind of feel okay with 16 lands. Like, aggro decks really don't have a problem running 16 lands. Yeah, I think we'll give it a try like this. I kind of like this deck. All right. So we're basically just red-white aggro. No real need for artifacts that I can see. Eight and 8. Yeah, guess I'm okay with that. More of a need for red mana on turn 2 than white, but we're going to need both colors. Yeah, I mean, we've got a game plan. Let's see how well we can execute it, right? Red-white aggro with vehicles and removal. Yeah, we'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1.